Hail and Meshes Adventures, welcome to the world of Baldurs Gate 3. It's me, the Spud King, and I present to you my new build for Paladin Oath of Devotion in Baldurs Gate 3. For our race of choice today I picked Dragonborn, and there's only one single reason, just to have fun. Look how cool he is. If you're considering like best race for your Paladin, pick a Dwarf and especially a Gold Dwarf with bonus to hit points. Another good options can be half Orc to increase his sustainability with a relentless endurance and maybe improving critical strikes with savage attacks. But honestly, any race could work. So I picked this Bronze Dragonborn to have resistance to lightning damage and being able to cast lightning spell. Paladin is mostly like single target character, so having this 2d6 lightning damage from time to time is a nice addition to our arsenal. So our Paladin today is basically Paladin with Oath of Devotion, and it will give you from first level this Holy Rebook that you can use with Channel Oath charges. So these charges recharge on short rest and you will get just one charge, so basically you can use it one time. And for 2 turns you get this additional 1d4 damage that will be inflicted to anyone who hits you or your allies, so you can cast it on yourself if you're in the front lane or other characters who are in danger. For our background, I like to pick Soldier to get this athletics skill proficiency, because as a front lane character we really want to shove people and resist being shoved just a lot. And ability distribution goes as follows. We're getting pretty balanced character with 16 into strength, 10 dexterity, 14 constitution, 0 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 16 charisma. To do so, I get 15 in charisma with +1, and 14 in strength, and +2 of course. For skills it doesn't matter, and let's level up. At first levels your options is kinda limited, and basically what you want to do is go and attack with your hammer or weapon of choice. But you get pretty high AC for first level and basic gear with +2 from shield and nice AC from medium armor. But today we're playing really tanky guys, so I recommend to go and find your heavy armor. It will give you much more power to stay in the front lane. But if you need some assistance, you can use this lightning breath, and it's awesome feature from our Dragonborn. Really cool stuff. So let's level up. From the second level, Paladin becoming Paladin. First of all, you're picking your fighting style. For today's build, we're going with defense, and basically we're making supportive, tanky front lane bully, something like that. For our spells of choice on first level, we're picking Searing Smite. It's bonus actions that can increase our damage. Cure Wounds, it's like our spell. Bless, in case you need this additional 1d4 to your attack rolls. Shield of Faith, of course. If you don't need this 1d4 for attack rolls, you will get this Shield of Faith to increase your armor class by 2, and that's really big on these levels. And whatever you like, maybe protection from evil and good, if you need protection from fiends and undead, or heroism, but most of the time you won't use these spells because they require concentration, and most of the time you will concentrate on Bless or Shield of Faith. Most importantly, Paladin on this level will get these actions, and these actions is basically Smite. So let's level up to level 3 and I explain you how this works. On level 3, as Paladin of Devotion, you get in your bread and butter action. So Sacred Weapon gives you a higher chance of hitting, and additionally it emits a bright light, so basically it can be used like a torch, if I'm not mistaken, but most importantly it's adding your charisma to attack rolls with your weapon, and that's big because we got 16 charisma, so from your oath you get this protection from evil and good, so you don't need it anymore to be prepared, and Sanctuary, and you can cast it on yourself or an ally, and no one can target you or your ally. So that's like nice spell, and it's used as bonus action most importantly. To, for example, cast on your slow wizard if you got the slow wizard, and slow wizard can just run around on the battlefield, move to the best position, and then cast his spells, something like that. Additionally, you get this turn Unholy, so it's used against undead to frighten them, and basically all they can do is only dash and nothing more. And you get this Divine Health, which will protect you from diseases. So, we got one more prepared spell. Right now we don't care, we get every spell we need, so let me show you this Paladin in early game. Important stuff how Paladin actually work. You need to go to your inventory, then go to your spell book. First of all, again, all prepared spells will be over here, so you will know all spells that you basically know, and you need to prepare them before the battle. If battle starts, you can't use any spells that is not prepared. So just like that, you prepare spells that you will need. But there's one more tab over here that you need to know about. It's reaction. And in reactions, you want to turn on all smites that you have and turn this ask button. If you are annoyed with this button, you can actually turn off the smites, because you can use your smite in two ways. You can press on your smite and press on your enemy, and if you hit a target, it will use spell slot, because it uses spell slot, same as Searing Smite. And if you miss, you don't lose your spell slot, just like that. But what's the problem? Problem that you don't know how much you will hit with your weapon, and your weapon damage is really variable. So for example, you can hit with your Warhammer for 4 or for 11 damage, and that's the problem. If you hit in creatures that got, for example, 10 HP for 10 damage, this creature will die. But if this creature got, for example, 15 HP, then this creature will survive, and you will be prompted with do you want to use Divine Smite if this creature survives, actually. So basically you can only use your main hand attack, and if creature survives, you can use your spell slot to kill this creature. So how you want to start your day? Basically you want to use Shield of Faith on these levels, and just like that, with pure basic armor, with just normal armors that get only 14 armor class, and it's just starting armor that is really low, you got already 19 armor class. This means it's almost impossible for enemies to hit you, and that's like great stuff. So what you can do in a fight? In a fight you can use your channel oath charges, and basically right now the best charge you get is Sacred Weapon. So as you can see, we got 95% to hit this target, but if we use our Sacred Weapon right now, and it uses your action, so keep this in mind, we will get like 100% chance, something like that. And we can use our bonus action. So bonus action is Sanctuary to make our ally not targetable for our enemies, but we won't use this right now. So your game plan for like these early game battles is to go in the front lane, tank some hits, and then when you lose your concentration on Shield of Faith, this means you will lose your 2 armor class, then you can use other concentration spells. For example, you can use Bless to gain advantage on attack rolls with additional 1d4, so it's not like advantage in game terms, but it's additional dice to your attack rolls, additional chance to hit your enemies. And there is of course Searing Smite that uses concentration too. So you're doing your basic weapon damage, and then you put your enemy on fire, and it will inflict additional 1d6 damage every round for 10 turns while you're keeping your concentration. So that's nice concentration spell too. And as you can see, yeah, we got 100% hit chance right now with our Sacred Weapon. And we will just hit this imp, and as you can see, he is dead, just like that. And that's basically it, how you want to play. And here, you see, we just made 4 damage, and this is not enough to kill this imp. And basically we asked, do we want to use our spell slot to increase basically our damage with 2d8? And yes, we want to increase our damage and just burn this imp like that. And if you got many enemies in a cone, you're basically using your lightning press and just do this stuff to your enemies. And make sure to check enemies' dexterity. If they get high dexterity, probably they will succeed on the saving throw and get only half damage. Still, it's nice AoE damage ability. So pretty simple and straightforward in early game. Let's level up more. So level 4 you get this lay on hand charges, and this charges is used to heal your teammates. Basically you get some lay on hands spells, and I will show you them later. They're not too important, but that's nice feature and nice addition to your character. Most importantly, level 4 will give you access to these feats, and from the feats we pick an ability improvement and adding it to our charisma. So as you know, our spells adding our charisma modifier to many stuff, and charisma modifier like one of the most important stuff for Paladin if you want to be tanky and frontlaner guy. Second important stat is Constitution to have more HP, and third one is Strength to just inflict many damage without using our spell slots at least sometime. Level 5 is nice power spike. We get in this extra attack, and it's cool feature, so now we can do 2 attacks in 1 turn, and this means 2 smites in 1 turn. And most importantly, we get more spells. So for our spells choice right now, we're picking these new spells, which is Protection from the Poison, Branding Smite, and Magic Weapon. Magic Weapon is additional concentration spell that will give us +1 to attack and damage rolls. So while Bless is like more cool feature that adds +1d4 to your attack rolls, and it means like you can roll 4 on your attack roll. It gives more chances to hit your enemy. Adding even +1 into damage is really big, because for example dice that got 1d6 and like most common weapons, one-handed weapons will do like 1d6 damage. You got 3.5 average damage. This means adding only +1 bonus to your attack damage rolls will give you 20% increase in your average damage, just like that. Or if you account only average damage, even 30%. So just like that, we continue to our next levels. Level 6 gives you Aura of Protection. It's like one of the best saving throw aura, saving throw like help in the game. And yeah, about spells. Protection from poison is a nice spell to have if you need this protection from poison. So if you're not in some poisonous area, poisonous dungeon, you see many poisonous enemies, you can use it. It's really nice and helpful stuff. And Branding Smite is a smite that's used against enemies who can be invisible. So if you got some enemies that probably will go into invisible mode, use this and it will prevent them from turning invisible, like very cool stuff. So we continue to our level 7, of course. On level 7 we get in this Aura of Devotion, and now we and nearby allies can't be charmed. So pretty cool stuff, because if you're not playing elf or half elf, then you don't have this protection from charm and sleep, and that's nice stuff. And every level basically you get an additional prepared spell, so spell choices in one battle becoming more different and different every level. And we're going to level 8, of course, and this level give us new feat. So that's like big stuff. And for this feat we can pick one of the two feats for my build. First of all, you can go into ability improvement and just get your maximum charisma. That's like nice pick. Or you can pick Sentinel. So Sentinel is cool feat because it gives you ability to basically stick on your enemies. If they try to run away from you, you will do your opportunity attack, and you will have advantage on this attack, so basically you hit them like almost 100% chance. And then when you hit them, they stuck in the place, so they can no longer move for the rest of its turn. And this means like you basically pick the enemy, go 6 to him, and stand in front of him and basically tanking every damage that he tries to do. And there's additional stuff. If there's a ally nearby and your enemy tries to attack your ally, you can use this feat to use this opportunity attack against him. So that's like cool future if you got another frontline guys nearby, especially when you're protecting your rogue, for example, if he uses melee weapons. So that's nice pick right now, or on the later stages. So just pick whatever you like. I will pick Charisma just for fun. We don't care too much right now. But you can pick wherever you like from these two feats for this build. And now on level 9 we get access to this level 3 spells. And yeah, we definitely want this level 3 spells. First of all, we get Revivify, and that's cool spell. If your ally dies, you basically can revive them without any scrolls. Elemental Weapon, cool concentration spell. So basically it's like upgraded magic weapon. Magic weapon got +1 to attack rolls and damage rolls, and this one got +1 to attack rolls and +1 d4 to damage rolls. So increasing your damage pretty significantly, and it's doing elemental damage of our choice. So cool stuff. Blinding Smite will blind your target, sometimes you need it, and blind will give disadvantage on attack rolls to your target. So it's cool, but additionally you get advantage on attack rolls against him, so that's like coolest part. Warden of Vitality. So if you don't have nice supports right now, it's nice spell too, to restore HP with bonus action. So you will heal from 2 to 12 HP to d6, and you can do it for 10 turns in a row, and basically you cast it from the start of the battle, and every turn you can use a bonus action just to heal yourself or an ally, and that's big and cool spell. And last, Crusader's Mantle, and this will give nearby allies additional 1d4 radiant damage. Sometimes it can be used, but most of the time it's not like one of the best spells you will have, but still, spells from the level 9 is really cool and strong. So we get into our level 10, we get an additional Aura of Courage, and we get protection from being frightened. Great stuff. New Lay on Hands Charge, more on that in a minute. More spells, we don't care too much. So basically we continue leveling up as our Paladin. And now at level 11 we get new Power Spike, we get improved Divine Smite. So any melee weapon attack deals additional radiant damage, and that's cool. So now you don't need to use your smite to inflict additional damage, and you get this 1d8 on every attack. That's cool part. And we continue to level 12, and Paladin will stick on this level 3 spell slots. So basically that's all spells you will have in the late game, and you have additional feat. For now, as feat of choice, again I recommend picking Sentinel, and it's like cool feat. So our build is finished for our super tanky guy, and as you can see we got large access to a lot of spells, and most importantly lay on hand charges. So lay on hand charges gives you ability to cast as an action healing on you or on your allies, and as you can see we're healing 48 HP at this level. Basically half of our HP can be healed, but it will use 2 lay on hand charges. One lay on hand charge will heal you for 24 HP, or you can cure diseases or poisons with 2 charges, so depending on what you will choose. So no channel those charges, we still will use this sacred weapon, but make sure to go into reaction tab, because when you unlock in this new spell slots, you got this ask for new divine smites, and divine smite can be upcasted to level 3 spell slots. So basic divine smite will do additional 2d8 damage, and every upcasted spell will give you additional 1d8. So when you're upcasting it to level 3 spell slot, you will do additional 4d8 damage, and that's big and crazy stuff. So I hope you understood like how we will use this Warden of Vitality, for example. You just cast it in the beginning of the battle, and then you can use this restore vitality to just restore health on your allies for 2d6 or on yourself every turn for 10 turns. That's like big and pretty funny stuff, and pretty strong if you don't have additional healer and party, for example. So what you actually want to do is this awesome Paladin in the late game and how you want to play. First of all, of course, you need to analyze what you will need in the battle. Do you need this protection from poison? So maybe use this in advance because it lasts until long rest, and you can give this protection to yourself or your ally. And when you understood like what you will need in the battle, you're basically doing this. You turning on every aura you get. So this is aura of protection. We turn this on. We get into aura of courage and aura of devotion, and just like that our auras is activated. We still get this shield of faith, and we can still use it as only level 1 spell, and that's cool feature. And if you need to be your tanky guy, you still continue with the same strategy, basically casting this shield of faith and go in with high armor class. But if you want to do some additional damage and other stuff, you need to use this elemental weapon. So basically using this elemental weapon, you pick your element of choice. For example, we're in the fire ship, so we could use cold damage. Most of the time it will work, but to check out, basically press right click on your enemies, press examine and check do they have any resistances. But just for fun, we're picking this cold damage modifier. And just like that, every weapon will do the normal damage plus 1d4 of your elemental damage plus 1d8 of your radiant damage, and you can use Divine Smite. So that's crazy stuff. And all of this while you being really tanky and cool dude. So as Paladin, your movement speed most of the time is not greatest in the battle, and you will need at least 1 turn to get into the battlefield. That's why you basically starting your late game fights like this. You moving around and then you're using your sacred weapon for 10 turns, just like that. And yeah, don't forget, while you get this feat, Sentinel, you can move with your allies to provoke these attacks from enemies. And when these enemies try and attack your allies, you can use your feat as a reaction. So you don't need to wait until them do these attacks and other stuff. You basically provoke these opportunity attacks from your enemies, and then you use your Sentinel reaction and just destroy your enemies like that. And because it's reaction, you can use it a lot of time. And when you use this reaction, coolest part, you can use your Divine Smite too. So we just provoked this reaction, and you can count it as additional attack, and we will use our upcasted Divine Smite to deal like crazy damage. And when you will fight this at least 18 AC enemies, and it's a really high AC, you will get a lot of hit chance. So as you can see, we got 80% hit chance on this enemy. If you want to increase this even more, you can use your level 3 spell slot, and it will use your action and bonus action and use this Blinding Smite. So you're using your Blinding Smite, and if enemy will lose his saving throw, then he will become blinded. He escaped our attack, but we got 2 attacks in 1 turn, don't forget it. So we're doing 2 attacks, and in addition to this Blinding Smite, we can use additional Divine Smite just like that for additional damage. So While being really like tanky guy, frontlaner character in large armors, Paladin's doing like crazy damage. Especially with this build and Sentinel feat to inflict these Divine Smites on every turn. And you can inflict them just crazy amount of time. Because you got one attack in a turn, and you got your second attack in a turn, and use your Divine Smite over there. And if you anytime will be in trouble, just use your Laying Hands to heal you for 48 HP. I hope now you understand how Paladin works, and you will like this Paladin of Devotion build when you will try your playthrough in Baldurs Gate 3. So enjoy and have fun! See you in the next videos, guys!